I cannot even afford to consume these things that no longer make sense to me whatsoever. Like, I can't do it. The whole point is just like choosing to be intentional, like sticking to my boundaries, choosing me, because I have to. Like, I have to. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tatiana, honey, and I'm back with another video, honey. Where it look like I'm at? I'm in a tree. I'm literally sitting in a tree, like, just living my life, you know? These are the type of things that make me happy. These people around here probably like, girl, what you doing in that tree? But it's like, it got like 4 parts or something. Hopefully that the crowd's on me. Y'all see the title. I basically just want to talk about briefly just how I choose to live an intentional life, and just that really just goes into just what I've been on lately. It has a lot to do with why I took some time away from YouTube as a whole. We're gonna get into the story, but long story short, like, everything just has to make sense for me right now. Like, if it doesn't make sense, I feel like it doesn't involve me. Like, if it doesn't make sense, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I can no longer go with the flow in my life. I never was a really big go with the flower type of person. Like, you know, I've always been so curious and ask a lot of questions with the loop, but of course there has been times you're young, you just go with the flow a lot of times, but I can no longer go with the flow, like, at all. Like, I can't, it's to the point where I feel like I can't risk going with the flow, like, ever in my life anymore. I need to know what the flow is, and I need to know where we're going before I choose to participate. I have to be intentional about my finances. I have to be intentional about my mind. I have to be intentional about my actions. I have to be intentional about my relationships with the people in my life, like everything. You know what I'm saying? And a big part of being intentional is also having boundaries and sticking to my boundaries. And a big part of that for me is just saying no. It might not even necessarily be no. Like, I'm working on my communication to be able to, it's a no, but let me tell you why it's a no. You know what I'm saying? I never really had a problem saying no, but I've definitely been in situations where I'll be like, oh, I'll go because I know you want me to go. Or I'll do it because I know that's what you want me to do, or that's what's going to make you happy. Being intentional is also me knowing when to put myself first. You can love people and care about people and still choose to put yourself first in situations where that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So it's no longer just going with the flow with anything like that either. Being intentional with, like, caring for my mental health, which is a big part of a lot of my daily life, because I am somebody that deals with anxiety. And yeah, like, you know, no, I'm not gonna go to this because honestly I'm not feeling my best, and I don't want to bring that energy into that space. You know, y'all not gonna be on that type of time. Also, like, me being intentional has a lot to do with why I isolate myself. I isolate myself often from my family and my friends. I isolate myself often from social media, and I try not to do it to the point of where, like, I always try to make it clear, like, it's never them. Like, whenever I do get the opportunities to talk to these people that I care about, like, it's never you. Like, it's never about you. It's about me. I am intentional about taking the time to step back and reevaluate my life and my relationships and how I'm going about these relationships in my life. And I've always been the type to isolate, though, but as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's important to communicate with these people on why I'm isolating, or why I'm, you know, falling back, focusing on me, or falling back, getting my mind together and stuff like that, because people who care about you, you know, they want to know these things. They don't necessarily be having a problem with the fact that you isolate. It's just like they just want to know that you good, you know, what you finna be doing while you isolating. Yeah, also isolating has given me time to really evaluate these things, you know, these relationships and stuff too. I've really been able to separate Like, who is my real friends and who are these people that's just here? Or maybe it's people that just been around, but they not necessarily your friends. Like, I've been able to separate those groups of people so that I know that when it comes time for me to pour into my friendships, I'm pouring into the right people. Because honestly, again, I'm intentional about my time. That's probably the thing that I'm most intentional about, my time. I don't have time to waste. Like, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to hang around people I know deep down inside I don't want to be around. I don't have time to waste doing things I know I don't want to do. So all of those things matter. Like, it really does. So I choose to be intentional about everything that I do. And it sounds like real I know, I feel like when I talk about it, it sounds like real technical, like, oh, you just overanalyzing life. Like, no, I'm living my life. I'm doing what makes me happy. I'm choosing whatever is best for me. Like, when I say I'm being intentional, I'm choosing whatever is best for me, for my mental, for my body, for my mind, for everything. I have to do that every single time, because when you live your life and you've like chosen to neglect yourself so much, you realize over time how that has an effect on you. Doing those things in the past have had an effect on me, and that's why I'm not choosing to live my life like that anymore. So I have a lot of thoughts in my head about this topic, so I'm sorry if I'm like all over the place with it or whatever. But you know, the whole point is just like choosing to be intentional, like sticking to my boundaries, choosing me, because I have to. Like, I have to. Another thing, a big thing, well, I guess getting into why I even left YouTube in the first place, because I don't want to get on social media and just post and overshare and tell y'all this and tell y'all that and keep y'all updated with these certain things that's going on in my life. Like, not to be rude, like, I know there's people that mess with me, they like me for who I am. You know, I've always been a likable person, but at the same time, I know y'all don't care. So I just feel like there are certain things I don't need to share on social media. I will get into why I specifically left like Instagram and stuff like that in another video. But just speaking specifically on YouTube, like, if I want to post something, I want to post something with purpose. Like, I want to post something that makes sense. I want to post something that if I post it today, I can watch it 2 years from now and it still makes sense. It still serves the same purpose. I don't want to just post things just to post them and, like I said, overshare. I'm not an oversharer. I don't like to overshare. I've caught myself oversharing once I get in the habit of, oh, I got to upload this many times a week. What to do? I find myself oversharing because I'm constantly trying to push out this content that really serves no true value or whatever. So moving forward, like, y'all will see, like, on my channel, if I'm going to post something, it's going to be something with purpose. It's going to be some type of information. It's going to be some type of perspective. It's going to be some type of conversation to be had. It's going to be something somebody can relate to. It's going to be something that maybe somebody needs to hear or whatever. Either way it goes, it's going to be intentional. It's not going to be just throwing stuff out there. I can no longer afford to just throw stuff out there. I'm a very private person, for one, and not only that, I'm an introvert. So putting those two things together already makes it hard to be like a social media type of person. But I still enjoy creating content, so I still try to be authentic. But I just have to find my ways of how I want to be authentic and how I want to share information. But no, I just feel like with everything that I do, I have to make conscious decisions with everything that I do. I have to pour into the relationships that matter and relationships that mean something, not just the little, I don't know, you know, the people that really care about you. I can only pour into those people. I'm sorry, I cannot pour into people that have nothing to give me, nothing to offer me. So that also has a lot to do with why I don't communicate with a lot of people I used to communicate with. There's no purpose in that. I don't post a lot of the things that I used to post. There's no purpose in that. And yeah, like, it just is what it is. So I encourage y'all to be intentional about the things you do. I feel like that just is what's gonna lead you to living a better life, a happier life. Like, especially, you know, once you get to a certain age, like, you can't just be doing things just because. Like, you can no longer live and do things just because. Like, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. I find myself like when I get too deep into those modes of just doing just because stuff, or not really, having a clear thought process and not being intentional, I feel like my mind is like scrambled or something. I can no longer afford to. I have too much to do. I'm too busy. I have too much going on to be living life with a scrambled brain. Like, I have to be more structured, stick to what I'm doing, and live my life like that. I was in a tree, sitting in a tree, doing me, living my life, feeling good. The breeze was hitting, talking my talk, getting it all out, telling y'all about how I choose to be intentional. And here come two men. I'm talking about, it's benches all over the park. And they come choose the one where they got my keys sitting on it, and right next to my tree that I'm sitting in. What was your purpose? See, that's the type of stuff that, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people just be out here just doing stuff just willy-nilly. And that's why to people like me, like, y'all just making careless decisions. Y'all doing stuff that just don't make sense. You not thinking. Like, you just not thinking. I'm not at the bench with the only one with shade. I could see if I was the only one that had a tree covering it. No. The majority of the benches have a tree over them. Why would you come and mess up? And you see I got the phone propped up in the tree. I'm talking. And not only that, because the coming by me was the first part. Tell me why he gonna turn on a speaker that was loud and started playing ads. So even if, because for the last part of it, I still kept talking even though they were right next to me, because I'm like, I'm in my zone. I want to keep it going. He turned on a speaker. So now y'all can't even hear me, even if I was to keep talking. What was your purpose? Y'all didn't have one. And see, that's another thing about when you get to this point in your life where you start being real intentional about the stuff that you are doing. The things that other people do just don't make no sense. I literally I'm walking around this earth, like, I'm looking at people and I'm just like, why? And that's what I found myself doing with social media too. I'm watching people's stories and I'm disgusted. Like, I'm in your close friends and I'm disgusted. Why are you sharing this? Why are you saying this? Why am I seeing this? A lot of things just was not making sense. Like, I cannot even afford to consume these things that no longer make sense to me whatsoever. Like, I can't do it. I don't know if it has something to do, well, I do feel like it has something to do with where God is taking me in my life, where I've already been taken. I feel like I've already been chosen when it comes to multiple things. I don't feel like we are people who have served one purpose. I feel like we're here to serve multiple different purposes. Like, you always have some type of purpose. Like, there's always purpose in everything you do, everything that you are. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like I'm being led to something, and that's another thing I want to talk about. But I think I'm gonna talk about it in a different video. Like, my isolation has literally led me to my biggest lessons. Like, me isolating myself has led me to my biggest lessons in my life. My isolation is what has changed my life for the better. Like, I needed that. Like, God knew exactly what he was doing. God knows what he be doing every time, Like I was saying, when you not living and it's like, you can't tell people who are not living intentionally that the majority of what they do makes no sense. And you don't, like, people like me, you don't want to come off like, oh, you just know everything, and you just, because that's not it. I don't think I know anything. I'm literally sitting in the moment of being willing to learn and unlearn whatever comes to my life. So it's not about me knowing, feeling like I know everything, or like I'm always right, or I'm like this perfect great person, because I'm not. But at the same time, at my big age of 27 and moving forward, I refuse to be just living just any kind of way like that. I know that don't serve my purpose. I know living like that don't serve my purpose. It just, my purpose is, it just cannot. And this is coming from somebody who don't even have children. Half of the people that I'm talking about, or that I see, or that's disgusting me, or that are just doing things that have no purpose, y'all have children. So that right there, that alone, like, I just could never understand. Honestly, y'all, I could probably talk about this for some hours, you know. I really can. At the end of the day, I just want to be better. I want the people around me to be better. I want the people I don't know to be better. You know what I'm saying? But that's just y'all responsibility. Like, on your own. I can only do for me and mine. I'm sorry. Hope y'all enjoyed this talk, this video. I'm sure a few of y'all can relate. Let me know how y'all feel about this. I really could go a lot deeper into this conversation, but it really breaks up into smaller topics, more specifically, that I plan on sharing with y'all as well. And let me know how you choose to be an intentional, how you choose to live an intentional life. And if you don't, you know, maybe this video will convince you to, or make you think about the way that you go about things, and what you choose to pour into, and who you choose to be around, and etc., etc. Because yeah, it's important right now. Times are changing, and we got to open our minds. Like, we got to put a lot into ourselves. We got to pour into ourselves. Right now, pouring into ourselves and pouring into our children is like the most important thing right now. Anyways, like I said, I can go on and on. Make sure y'all leave a like on this video. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And y'all be on the lookout for more videos with purpose, because that's just what I'm going to be giving y'all. Hopefully, y'all here for the long road. If not, it is what it is too. Bye, you guys.